Good morning, good morning. Welcome back. Long time no see. Sorry for my absence, but now everything is perfect. Everything is very nice. No need to worry about anything now. Okay, so we're gonna go through some charts and see what we have today. Hopefully, gonna catch some nice trades. Can you guys see if the quality is better now? Because I think it is. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is better now and the quality should be better. Okay, so first of all, Euro US dollar looks like we had a very nice 4-hour break and retest today, but yesterday I couldn't trade. I lost everything, every setup yesterday. For now, for now looks like we're at support on EU, and unless we break this, there's no trade here. What about to the upside? To the upside, I wouldn't be very sure, but we have this resistance too. So this is some kind of a small consolidation box which we need to break. I don't know if I would trust this that much. Of course, I would want more rejections. So we'll wait and see. For now, there's no trade. EJ. Okay, every time I start the day, I clean the chart because new zones created sometimes, so we need to see what we have every day fresh. Okay, so EJ is somehow the same thing, but on the 1 hour, I don't really see much. I just know that if we do break this support here, it's going to be a massive move to the downside, but we can't. We had some tries to break below, but no luck yet. So today what we're going to do is we're going to wait for a breakout on EJ. Once we do have that, we have a very nice range to fill to the downside, but probably going to wait for a 4-hour break, which would be way better and way more comfortable to take it. So looks like it's sitting at support. EA, not gonna look at EA at all, just because it's I can see the worst. It's a good pair, but it's a very messy pair. So much consolidation happening on EA, it's crazy. UJ 4-hour is at resistance. UJ 4 hours at resistance. What about 1 hour? 1 hour pretty much the same. We need to close above this level if we want to take a trade here. Not above this level. See, this is a situation where we have two zones in between, which means we need to wait for both to break if we do want to take a trade. But the thing here is when if we have the breakout, then when price breaks out and comes for a retest, then there's some chances that price may come lower to make that retest, then continue up. That's what can happen here. So we're gonna wait for both these zones to break, then we're gonna look to enter on the retest. Let's continue to use the CAD. Okay, let's just clean the charts here. Good morning, good morning. What happened was nothing. I was moving out from a place to another place and I had to move everything with me. So it took me some time, but we're back. And I had also some Wi-Fi problems, so I need to fix it. I took a different service, now everything is good. Use the CAD. See, once I don't see anything on the 1 hour, I straight go to the 4 hour because I expect it to tell me to give me a clean picture, you know. So on USD CAD, 1 hour is not very clean, so I go to 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, you have plenty of things to see, plenty of rejections here. And looks like we're gonna need a break above. What if price drops? Do we have any chance? Looks like we have this small minor support here, which can also give us a chance to break to the downside. So we're in between these two zones, which is a 30 pip range. Gonna take some time. What about GJ? We are going there. We are going to GJ. GBP pairs made a whole pullback, a whole correction of the previous candle. And what does this candle mean? This candle came all the way back down, and if you heard me before when I say that when price comes all the way below or above the breakout candle, let's say this was the breakout candle, then the chance of continuation to that side is very high. And what happened here, this candle here closed below the previous one, and this should have been the retest to continue all the way down. So for me here, I expect here continuation to the downside all the way down to this next support on GEO, next daily support. I don't know if that's going to happen today or not, but this looks huge for GEO, and it should continue down. Even if it does push up again, the thing is we have some small support here. We have some small support here on GEO, and it might take a little bit, you know, it might take a little bit time to break this, but if it does, then there's free range, free traffic on the left all the way down here. And if we do also break this, then there's going to be some serious drop, because not much on the left all the way down here. So we'll have to wait and see. See this support here, it's the same with this one here. So we have the support from the previous time here, and also now respecting it. So we have to wait and see. Now what we do here is we go to the 4 hour to see if we do have any chance of getting in, which I wouldn't really recommend maybe, but let's see. This looks like a decent support to wait for a breakout. It looks pretty good, but we're gonna need a very good close below to have a good confirmation. If we do have a good close, then we'll see what we do. But for now, there is another 20 pips that can drop and another 10 for a breakout, so we need a 30 pip move from current price to go all the way down to give us a trade. Aussie dollar looks like it's in this middle range. We'll have to wait and see. It looks like price is at support right now. Yeah, so you can see for on the previous days we had some rejections before, price couldn't break. We had 2 rejections, and we have plenty of rejections at this level, which what does this mean? This means that we can trust this level. We can trust this level. So many rejections, and on the 1 hour the level is a little lower, so if we do break the support, we have free traffic on the left all the way down here, which is 20-30 pip range. Not bad for us. Okay, what about GJC? GJ is at support, 4 hour support. What if we break below this 4 hour support? Then we have a very good chance to enter here, but we're gonna need to wait for that breakout. Yeah, very nice. 30 pip range looks pretty good. Looks very good. And also this is a 4 hour daily support, so if the 4 hour closes below this, we're gonna have a very nice drop here if we do close below this daily support. Good morning, Bob. Good morning. Do you check dollar index to anticipate in USD pairs? No, I don't. I've said this before. I don't use correlation, or I don't try to correlate different pairs with each other. I just think they move on their own, so I don't want to say, oh, dollar index is doing this, now this is going to do this, because they all move in their ways. Okay, looks like we might have a good trade here. Euro New Zealand looks a very good setup. We have 10 minutes left. Let's wait for a breakout, then we're gonna enter on the retest. This looks like a very good setup here. GCAD might give us something later on, but looks like the levels are a little bit too far between each other, so better go to the 4 hour. Yeah. So on the 4 hour we have the support here. Breaking below that means we can drop all the way down to this next zone here. And your CAD looks like it's going to continue up, but there's another small minor zone here. See how we have these rejections here, all the 4 hour candles, and we had this small breakout, this retest, continuation, but we had another zone here, and this previous candle closed above, made a retest, and now it's going up. If it does break above this too, then we can see another push to the upside. 4 hour gone all the way bullish, so a close above would be a very good confirmation. Let's wait for this to break. GA is too messy, same place for days. It hasn't gone anyway, just like EA. Wow, this is a massive consolidation box. If we do break this, we're gonna have a massive move to the downside or to the upside. We'll have to see which way it's gonna break. So our next trade should be on Euro New Zealand. We're gonna wait for a close above, then a retest and continuation. Don't you think GU and GJ somehow move in the same direction? They do. They do move in the same direction sometimes. I've said this before. When there's something happening about GBP, let's say GBP had a good data or something, then of course all GBP pairs going to move the same because they're going to get some strength and going to push, and the other pair that they're related to, it may be weak or something, and that can help too, but not all the time. You can't say all the time. You can't I just say that you can't take a trade based on just correlation. If GU has a breakout and GJ has not, now you expect GU to continue, but you can't expect GJ also to break because maybe it doesn't have enough strength to break a zone. So you can't buy GJ at resistance just because GU broke above before and now it has high probabilities that it's going to continue. So that's the problem. There are a lot of people that see, let's say GU did a nice break, but GU not yet, but GJ not yet. So they buy GJ too because they say, okay, it's going to continue now because GU broke above, and if GU is pushing now, GJ should push too. That doesn't mean anything, I think. That's not a way to trade. But what if you have a breakout on GU and you have a breakout on GJ? That's when you expect both of them to continue because you have a confirmation. Not if you don't have a confirmation. Five pips spread on Euro New Zealand with me. Yeah, on Euro NZD, the spread is a little bit high on some brokers. I know that. I've seen it. Joey, very sorry man, but 7 a.m. my time is a little bit too early, and nothing much happens at that time, to be fair. I know that this time is not good for everyone to trade, but that's why we have New York session too, so you can catch at least New York session. Yeah, my spread is 2-3 on Euro New Zealand. 2-3 pips, I think. Pepperstone has good spreads. I trade futures, but I'm interested in currency. Where do I start? You can start babypips.com. Joey, the thing is, you can do the same thing on different sessions. So what you see here, you can apply to New York session or Asian session, whatever session fits you better, or whatever session that you're able to trade. It's the same thing over and over again, happens on all sessions. Just that on London and New York we have more volume, so it's a better session to trade. Pepperstone doesn't allow micro lot accounts, no, I don't think so. I haven't seen it. Here it's 9 a.m. now. Do you prefer when a breakout candle pulls back and makes a top wick? The best breakout that I prefer is a close above with no wick, then the retest coming right away, and then going for that continuation and making a new wick to the upside, making a top wick, pushing all the way to the next zone. So we don't have a good break on EN. I think I'm gonna stay away. That's only 2-3 pips close above. I wouldn't feel very comfortable with this, I think. Yeah, this can be another resistance for Euro New Zealand here, so it's a little bit risky, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna wait. Patience. I don't have to take a trade straight away. There's no need to rush here. Plenty of time to wait until a very good opportunity comes. There is no need to rush. On UJ, I said we need to break above both these levels here. So there's no break yet. I call trades, yes. You can go through some other webinars that I did or live streams, and you can get some information. What we do here would be very helpful for you. Which pairs are the best for break and retest? Well, I think these pairs on my right here, they all are very good to trade break and retest, but they don't really give break and retest every day. So that's why one of the reasons why we don't trade only one pair, because you might have only few chances per month. Maybe I don't know if you can get a trade every day, since we trade 1 hour 4 hour. So these are good pairs, all of them. From my experience, they all do work well. Which one is more likely to give a fake out? I can say euro US dollar can be a little bit tricky. EA can be a little bit tricky, and EN can be a little bit tricky. They can be more fake outs can happen more on these pairs, what I've seen from my experience. So now we'll have to wait. NZD I don't want to take this because we have this small support here, and that would be against some rules here. And the breakout is very small, so I wouldn't trust this. Yeah, let's see. GJ, very bearish, yeah. Uh, Based on the previous daily candle, I expect the GBP to drop today. Probably the next zone this will be, but I'm gonna need a breakout before that. My favorite pair is GJ, of course, but GJ is not gonna give me trades every day, maybe. So we'll see. Let's wait and see. Euro GBP is not a pair I trade, but we can take a look. I saw it yesterday. It might have a nice setup. Yeah, looks like it's pushing above this resistance here. Based on my experience, I didn't have a good experience with Euro GBP just because it was doing a lot of fake outs. That's what I didn't like about Euro GBP. But this case here looks like it has a very good chance, if it does close above, to continue all the way to next resistance here. It would make a lot of sense, but gonna need a break above here on the 4 hour. Yeah, this is the thing that I don't like when it happens. Price stays just close to resistance. It doesn't close above. That next candle just push straight above it or below it, just like GJ did. And we don't get a chance to enter at all. And EU is pushing up now. Looks like a very nice push. How many pips we have? 15 pip move. That's pretty good for EU in 8 minutes since this candle started. Let's see if we have any news that may have caused this, or it's just London Open. Yeah, so high impact news, 5 hours until USD has some news, but 5 hours later, so there's nothing to worry about in these upcoming minutes. We have some Euro news, but they're low impact anyway. Euro and ZD went pretty good, but see, most of you guys have big spreads on Euro New Zealand, so would end up in a entry around here. So it's better that we didn't take it. NZD, USD, it's nothing yet. It's only rejecting the support on the 4 hours, so there's nothing yet happening right now. UJ got rejected. Let's see, what if UJ breaks below the support? It might give us something. It might give us something. We'll see. We'll have to wait for that. Yeah, the only thing we don't have to do is to rush. We don't need to rush. There's plenty of time until we get the best setup here. There's no need to rush here. Plenty of time. Why you didn't use 30 minutes? I don't use lower than 1 hour. Only higher time frames. Higher time frames only 1 hour and up. So we'll see. We'll see. There's still time. Probably we'll see. USD CAD can give us a trade too if we do get this break this resistance or maybe this support, but for this support to go all the way down need 30 pip move, which is quite big. So we'll wait for a Euro US dollar or EJ maybe. Both of them can be good. Lots of rejections from the upside, from the downside. So whenever it breaks to the upside or downside, would make sense for both to continue. You can use 30 minutes for confirmation, but I don't. 30 minutes can tell the different that I see on the 1 hour and 4 hour. So I tried it all. I just found that 30 minutes doesn't work for me, or 15 minutes, because it was going against my trades most of the time, against 1 hour, 4 hour, because it's a lot harder to manage to get all time frames, doing the same thing or having a breakout all time frames at the same time. So it might give me more complication, so I don't need them. A lot of people can make it work, that's great, but not for me. I find myself way more disciplined staying only on higher time frames. Okay. How can you manipulate all that pairs? I'm not doing anything with them, I'm just watching if one of them gives me a trade. I don't have to trade all of them at the same time. Yeah, Euro NZD went good, but there was not enough confirmation for us, and spread too high for most of people. So if most of people can't do it, can't trade it, then I'm not gonna trade it either. CAD JPY needs to close below, so there's no breakout yet. And UJ is still at the support. It's gonna take us some time, but patience pays, and you guys know it. We waited for a long time on other webinars, and at the end we get to have a nice setup, so don't rush. There's plenty of time. You can do some other things while you wait, but don't rush because you'll end up with a bad trade. Simple. EJ breaking out, we'll see. It is pushing, but it's not official yet. Until we see a candle closed above, that's when it's official. Before that, no. Let's wait. Does it need to close above the wicks? If it doesn't really matter if above the wicks. What matters is to close above to where candles are closed. But it would need to close above wicks because we need at least a 5-6 pips close above, which would mean a close above the wicks too. So yeah, in this case we do need a close above the wicks, just because that's at least 5 pips close. What about CAD CHF? Maybe you can send a chart so I can understand what you're saying. Send a chart and I'll look at it. see. It looks like UJ pushing. Yeah, good close below. Like, there's not much on the left to cause us problems until 105.700. Nice range for UJ to 20 pips would be good. Daniel, thank you. Glad to be back. Yeah, GJ. See, just we had that big push right after London Open, so more volatility, but you can see now how market, you know, it's gone quiet for a bit. It's not rushing. EU had like 15 pips move in the first 2-3 minutes, and now it's all quiet. But this can be a very good trade. Let's wait and see. Once we come for a retest here, stop loss can be just below this candle. Not that it's not that it's needed, but the thing is, if we do get a fake out, then we can have more room to manage the trade, and we can be able to get out at break even or something like that if it does happen to be a fake out. Other than that, I don't think that should come more than this. So we'll wait and see. It's pushing. We're gonna have a good break if it does stay like this. It's almost 10 pips above resistance. So very nice. If UJ closes below, seller stop loss will be big. Not really. It doesn't really need to be all the way above the breakout candle. So if it does break, entry should be here. Stop loss can be only if you want to take put your stop at above the breakout candle like we want to, then still it's not going to be only 15 pips. But I think more than 10 pips not needed. I think a 10 pip stop loss would be enough here. USD CAD not doing anything right now. See, what did I say? This was a daily support. This is the reason why price got rejected. So until we break this, there's no trade here on GU, which is also 4-hour support. We need a break below this. See how many rejections we had before. That tells you everything. See what happened last time we were at this zone here and we took this trade on the stream. Maybe not on the stream, but with my students, yeah, because the stream was off. See, we had this breakout on the 4 hour, made a retest. Or no, this was live, yeah. This was live. Price came a little bit too deep, but it was a 4 hour retest. And look at the push it made. So it makes a lot of sense price to have problems here breaking this support. Gonna have some problems before breaking it, but once it breaks that, then we can expect some good moves. Let's wait and see. Your cat can give us a 1-2. The only thing is that I don't trust your cat that much. It's known for fake outs. It is very known for fake outs, so I'm gonna try to trade the safest there. Okay, Aussie dollar, buying it as a fake out. Let me check. Aussie dollar has a lot of zones in between, so it's making it a little bit difficult to trade. The thing about Aussie dollar is that it's just a rejection of the 4 hour. It's just a rejection. There's, I think, nothing on Aussie dollar right now. It can push, of course, if this was a fake out on the 1 hour. We'll see. If it does close like this, a small pullback, we can put our stop loss just below this current candle, which will be a very small stop loss, 5-7 pips. Yeah, around 6 pips. But the reward can be pretty big here. Can go all the way up and fill this range, 30 pip range. then wait and see. Not on shorts on UJ because there's no close yet. We need to close below this. If Aussie dollar closes to the upside, yeah, would be a confirmation that price can still continue more. Because first it's getting rejected from a 4-hour support. On the 1 hour, it's breaking this resistance here. So it would make sense to continue up. Okay. EJ's been pushing. It all depends how the candles are gonna close, because it can push the whole hour, then at the end of the hour come and close below, so it wouldn't make any difference all this push, so I'm gonna have to wait. EU also has been pushing. Let me check the 4-hour. Yeah, the 4-hour makes sense to push. It's not much on the left, so can come at least at this next zone here. That would be a 30 pip range, so it's pretty good. Have to see. Price also coming from support. Let me check the daily. Yeah, daily can come and make a retest here, because this seems like a small fake out on EU. Since price couldn't continue after making a retest of the support, this candle closed below. Now this one can come higher to make a retest here and then continue down, and then we can catch that move based on the 1 hour. So let's wait and see. Yes, yes, we are waiting for this, man. It's gonna be nice. Yeah, exactly like we expected. Very nice. Your analysis and mine are matching up. That's great. Okay, so UJ seems pretty bullish to be fair. Taking that 1 hour break and retest might be a little bit risky when I see it now. Even though this is a daily level 2, so if it does break below, that means you have a breakout. But seems like it can continue from here to the upside. We'll see how it's gonna go. We need candle closes to give us confirmations. Aussie dollar looks like it's rejecting daily too. Yeah, looks like yesterday we had some huge drops on most of the pairs. Looks like a crash. Yeah, huge drop on USD. Let's see. Still nothing official. So tomorrow is Friday, and we have a lot of news, seems like it, on Euro. We have some on GBP, PMI. We have retail sales on CAD. We have also USD news. So plenty of news tomorrow. And it's Friday, so we're gonna have to be careful. No need to risk our profits that we made during the week. Okay, let's see. Euro NZD. What if price closes above this? Because this looks like the next resistance too, and it might give us a chance. Yeah, if it does close above, let's see where I kind of put my stop loss. Maybe stop loss just below the previous candle, which would be, yeah, almost 20 pip stop loss. Say 20 pips. So we'll see. If it does close is pretty good above, strong close, we might consider some buys. What lot size would you use to compound those 6,000 account? Well, depends, man. I don't recommend anyone using 10% risk on every trade. I mean, 1%, 2% would be enough if you think about long term. That's why what I suggest to everyone. I didn't have to take Euro NZD. It didn't meet my criteria, so no need to risk it. You can do it though. Congrats if you did it. Nice job. Where did you learn English? I thought you were like Australian. No way. Most of people think I'm Indian. I learned in school and by myself most of it. Watching movies. Okay, seems like EJ is gonna be the next trade. Because I'd rather take EJ than Euro NZD. Euro NZD is a lot more volatile. You never know what can happen. How many languages do you know? Lots of them. Okay, I speak my language, I speak English, a little bit Spanish, and I can understand it pretty much. And I know how to read Arabic, but speaking just a little bit, not that much. Also Turkish I know a little bit because I learned in school. Arabic, Turkish, English. Okay, let's see. كيف حالك؟ بخير والحمد لله. I know a little bit. Alex, hello. Gold, can you look at gold and give us your opinion? Well, I don't know about gold. I've been saying all the time, don't trade gold, but you guys can't go away from gold. I don't know why. Seems like you guys want to trade gold. Why? Because gold is very volatile and it can double your account and blow your account in seconds. Look, gold is messy. Gold is messy, and the overall movement, gold is still bullish, but from the previous daily candle, that big drop, seems like it closed below the support, and look how good it respected this zone, and seems like now we can have some continuation to the downside. But I've said before, I don't trust gold. I don't trust gold, and if it's respecting this level, second time it comes, maybe it can go all the way up. You can never know. But I think there's no need to trade gold. You have plenty of other pairs. I mean, gold is just a stress pair. If you have a small account, then there's no need to trade at all. Not selling, Anthony, I'm not selling gold, just showing that seems like it was a good break and retest, and it can continue down. Español, yes. Puedo hablar en español un poco.
So let's get rid of this. Let's get Euro Japanese yen.
Okay, looks like EJ went all the way down. See, why is it important to wait for candles to close? It's very important.
Candles to close.
And yeah, UJ looks like buys on UJ would make more sense because of the daily. Since daily is at support, then 1 hour maybe it's gonna push and make a new high above this resistance. Let's wait and see. What if EJ? We have another 5 minutes. What if EJ just closes a little bit above? That would be not a good sign for us, because I said that we need at least 5 pip breakout, and this wouldn't be a very good one. Man, lots of consolidation. GCAD, there's nothing really much happening on GCAD. I said that on the 4 hour we have this support, and probably it may close a little above, but 1 hour doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I would like both time frames to support each other, to match with each other, but it doesn't really look good. I mean, it got rejected all the way up, and this is pretty big rejection. See, 15 pips. I wouldn't take anything here. We'll have to wait and see. See, UJ is pushing up. EU went all the way down. No breakout. This may be the retest we were waiting for on the daily. but it didn't quite come where we wanted, but it was very close, like 10 pips. So we might see some continuation to the downside. Look at GBP CHF. That's a pair I don't trade. Don't trade that pair because I don't know if any other pair makes more fake outs than that. Why do you avoid trading on lower time frames? Because it's more complicated. It is this. It's not the same as trading one or two time frames as trading 4 or 5 time frames. Because if you trade higher time frames, you're only gonna have to look at 1 hour and 4 hour. Sometimes not even 4 hour. But trading low time frames, you're gonna go from 4 hour, then 1 hour, then 30 minutes, then 15 minutes, and all of them should be on the same page, so you don't get confused or you don't get doubts on a trade. And that's it. I think a lot of people make it work, but it's not for me. If you find it helpful, then of course you can use them. Your cat closed below, no breakout. GCAD only closed a little above, but 4 hours not closed yet. EJ is not a good break yet either. It's just rejecting. See, it didn't really close above. It's only below this. EA to resistance. So what about EN? Same, didn't close above this resistance. What about GJ? GJ closed bullish, got rejected all the way up, and nothing. Still at this 4 hour support. Benjamin, why are you obsessed with NZD/USD? There's nothing here. Price at support. It's not breaking it yet. See all these candles. All these candles are closing at the same level here, and these candles rejecting that. So you're gonna need a close below, then a retest to continue down. If you took the trade at this level, it's too risky, I think. Careful. Aussie dollar closed all the way below, which means there's no trade. Still 4 hour just rejecting. GU, pretty big rejection. On the 1 hour, I see the small support here, and it seems like this was like a small fake out on the 1 hour, closing above, making the retest to continue up, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't risk it yet. Don't be lazy, guys. Send charts. Send charts. Do some work. This is what I would like the best now. Since EJ pushed pretty much like how many pips? 10 pips and couldn't break above. Came all the way back down, close below. If this candle now would come all the way down and close below this, then I probably would take some sells without a doubt here. Then we'll have the next target around here. So looks pretty good. EJ looks pretty good. Just need time. A lot of waiting required, but this is what we do. We need to be patient. Yeah, I think your zones are good, man. But GU has a lot of zones in between. And I saw this zone here as a fake out. See how many candles rejecting this zone here? And this seemed like another fake out, but there was also support here. So your zones are good, not anything wrong with this. But you can see where my zone that I said is a fake out. But GU has plenty of zones in between. It's a little bit messy. Just like that day that we took this trade here. We broke this resistance, but we have another support. We had another support on the 4-hour lower than that, and it came very deep for that retest. At the end it went all okay, but just that having zones in between made this come very deep for a retest. But your zones are very good. Looks like we need some gaming while we wait for a trade. CAD CHF 12 pips under support. Unless it closes, there's no trade. Today's very slow. Yeah, since we had a lot of movement yesterday, today seems quiet. Seems like this was the break and retest on CAD CHF, but I didn't see that. Yeah, this was almost 16 pips move, and looks like it may continue even more. Well, the 4-hour looks close here, so looks like it's gonna drop another 5 pips on the 4-hour. Then after that, we'll see. Maybe it's gonna break down. We'll have to wait and see. If we do get a break below, would be perfect. Look at your GP, all the way down, rejection. Big rejection. Wow, Aussie dollars pushing down very nicely. Let's see. We might have a trade on the next hour. Yeah, 4 candles closing after this 1 hour, and we might get some nice breakouts. Patience. Okay, so I'm gonna go get some coffee and be right back. Small break. We have plenty of time. Okay, very nice drop back. Look at EJ, what a drop. What a drop on EJ. Let's see. Looks like I'm gonna get some nice setups on the next hour. Why did you take a buy on Aussie dollar? If you don't mind asking. Wow, this is crazy. What a drop. Bad that we didn't get a chance to enter. But waiting. Let's see what's gonna happen. Seems like we're gonna have a 4-hour breakout probably. Since it's pushing below this, that's great news for us. GU is better. Why is GU better? Well, GU, there's still plenty of there's a big move that needs to happen on GU in order to have a setup here. We need at least another 20-30 pip drop on GU, but on EJ it's already done. It's not already, yeah, even though we have another 30 minutes, but can still reject and close above. Then if it does that, we're gonna be in a tricky position to see if we want to take this retest of this zone or not. Would be a pretty big pullback. Well, looks like it's not. 17 pips. And if it does close around here, like in 10 pip below this, then coming for a retest, that's going to be a risky trade too. But we might take it, you know, just using lower risk. Yeah, GJ is good. GJ is good. If it does close below the daily, can be very nice. Have to wait and see. Yeah, Aussie dollar can be very good. If it does close in the middle of this range, then a retest, that would be perfect for us. We just need that close. Let's see. Just hope that Aussie dollar stays around here and it doesn't go to the next zone, because if it does push to the next zone, then it's going to be risky to take it. I'm going to have to use less risk. EJ, what a massive drop. We'll see. But still very good, because 4 hours is going to close and we're going to get a chance to enter on the 4 hour. So it's going to be pretty nice setup here. A very nice breakout. You can see how strong this this support is. and if it does break below, then we have no traffic all the way down here. We have 40 pip range to fill. So this is the good thing about EJ here. Plenty of space to drop. EU. Well, let me check the 1 hour. Seems like EU is a little bit closer than EJ. EJ went too far a bit, but EU can be also good. If it does stay around here, it doesn't push more, then we can enter on the retest and continuation all the way down to the next zone. But we need to wait for that. It's going to be a nice trade also on EU. Yeah, some very nice setups ahead coming up. It's going to be a nice next hour. Let me check other pairs. UJ is rejecting. Once we close above this resistance, then we can also have a nice setup here. We need to go above the previous candle. Once that goes, that means we're strong momentum and we can enter on the retest. Like I said, we need to close above this. We need to close above these two zones here. If we want to have a safe trade here, we need to close above these two zones. If you look left, you can see the resistance I'm talking about here. So we don't want to be taking buys here while we have the next resistance very close. So we want to take a trade after we break all this zone here. Then when it comes for retest, probability is that we can reject from this, but we can come a little bit lower, then continue up. So we can enter 50% at this and leave some another 50% if it does come lower. But that's your choice. You can enter 80 and leave 20 if it does come lower. Anyway, it's still good. But the most important thing is we need to close above this all. Next hour is going to be key for most of the pairs right now. USD CAD. Okay, looks like we're going to have another setup here. Yeah, finally. Looks like New York session is going to be very good today, since we're having a lot of breakouts on the next hour, and on New York session we might see continuation. So check the 4 hour. Let me check the 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hours is pretty good too, and we're gonna have a 4 hour close in 30 minutes. It's gonna be great. If they stay like this, then I'm not gonna complain. Plenty of chances coming up. Aussie dollar is perfect too. Which setup is more perfect, EU or EJ? Well, I think all of them are good. I mean, we're just gonna have to choose, pick and choose which one you want to take. I think EJ is very nice. Based on the 4 hour, we have not much traffic on the left, so waiting for 4 hour to close below, then taking the retest is going to be very nice. EU is probably the same. It has some support right now where the current price is. It might be a little tricky because it has this small minor zone here, you can see, which can cause some problems, but yeah, seems like EJ's it's a little bit better. USD is also very nice. I mean, which one I'm gonna choose? Let me see, maybe Aussie dollar. Probably it's gonna be EJ or USD CAD. But we should wait to see how it's gonna close, because we're not gonna have the same closes candle closes on all pairs. Let's see. Okay, there's a question. When you use smaller stop loss, that means you risk the same amount, or you use the risk what you would use for 20 pips. So in this case, your risk is going to be lower. I wanted to ask this for a long time. Look, there's a difference when I say low risk and when I use a smaller stop loss. If a trade is more risky, that means that I'm going to use, when I say I'm going to use less risk, that means I'm going to use not the usual lot risk that I use. Let's say I use 2% on every trade, and when I say less risk, I'm going to use only half, let's say 1%. But when I use a smaller stop loss, that doesn't mean that the risk is going to be lower too. It's just the stop loss is lower. The risk is still the same. But stop loss means that you don't need to risk more than that. Let's say, let me give an example if I can take it. If I'm entering a break and retest here, then there's no need to put my stop all the way above here. It's only going to be needed to put this above the breakout, above the previous candle here. What does that mean? That means that if price goes above this, it's going to be able to go all the way up to the next zone. So why would I hold this trade all the way up to next resistance, where when I know that once it goes above this, it's going to go all the way up to next resistance? So my stop loss is just going to be less than another setup, which maybe would be needed a bigger stop loss, but the risk remains the same. It all depends what I say. If I say I'm using less risk on this trade, why? Because it's coming from another zone, then I'm only using less risk. It doesn't matter what stop loss is. Whatever stop loss is, the risk is going to be the same. If I'm only using a 10 pip stop loss, my risk is still going to be 2% per trade. If my stop loss is going to be 20 pips, that doesn't mean that I'm going to use only 1%. So the risk is going to be put on that stop loss. It doesn't matter if you use smaller stop loss, doesn't need small risk. It depends how I say it. Sometimes I may say also I'm using a small stop loss and less risk too, then that means that has a different meaning too. It all depends how I say it. Okay, see, we're having rejections now. This is why we need to wait for candles to close, because you never know if it's gonna close below or not until you see it. CAD JPY looks like it's gonna close below, but is this gonna be enough? I don't think so. We'll have to wait. USD-CAD is rejecting too. Let's wait and see. Still have time. There's still time for price to close below this. 10 pips can be enough. Maybe even 5-6 pips below would be enough. If EJ closes like this, then there's a good chance that might come for retest at this zone. So if that happens, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use less risk, but that doesn't mean that stop loss is gonna be any different. Stop loss still gonna be above this breakout candle, just like the usual one. If I'm going to use less risk, but also less smaller stop loss, that's a different situation. GJ is rejecting again. I don't know. I don't trade rejections. I only trade breaks, breakouts. Then I enter on the retest. So GJ, yeah, it might close bullish, but still for me, there's not going to be a trade in there. Still not going to be a trade. Yeah, daily is having problems with this support. This support is pretty strong. You don't even need to think much about it. Just you can look how many daily candles got rejected here before breaking up. And that tells you how strong this resistance is, in this case turned in support. So there's going to be problems breaking this. We might get a rejection to the upside, but that's not how I trade it, so I better wait and see what happens and find another pair to make a trade. So we'll wait and see. What if EJ closes above the 4 hour? If the 4 hour on EJ closes above, then what we're gonna expect is a retest of this zone. But like I said before, if we do take this, it's gonna be very risky. Looking at how big this wick is, leaving a wick like this, it's not a very good sign. And also closing above support, we'll see. Let's not talk before it happens, because still don't know. Okay, so you're expecting next candle to push all the way up. Okay. Yes, I can see. I see what you mean. Since we're having this rejection, you expect the next candle to push up. Think it's even though we're having rejections, it's still too risky for me. It is too risky for me trading rejections. Even though you can count lower time frames as your confirmation, that's good. If it does work for you, that's great. But not my style. Hope it does work for you. It's at daily support, so it makes sense to push up to have a rejection, but my way of trading is only a safest way, waiting for a break. Let's see, even Aussie dollar is rejecting. No, I didn't take any trades. Unfortunately, we didn't have much opportunities until now. We didn't have any trades. Market has been ranging all day. What's your opinion on GCAD after dropping so much? It's never too much on Forex. It's never too much. You can never say it pushed too much, now it's going to reject, or it dropped too much, now it's going to reject. It can always go more and more and more. But what I can say on GCAD is that we can still see continuation to the downside. I mean, just based on the previous candle, if we see a big candle like this coming all the way from resistance, closing below the previous candle, which was 136, 100, more than 100 pips move, coming all the way down, closing below, that of course is a good sign, a strong sign that price might continue down after making a pullback here. But it already did pull back and did the drop also. Now you can see some more push to the upside. I don't know where can it come. I think it might come at this level here. You can see these rejections. It might come here, then make another drop to the downside. That's what I think on GCAD. That's a very possible move that can happen here on GCAD, because I don't see anything else except this level here, and this can be tested then drop again. This seems like a fake out that happens on lower time frames most of the time. A close above this resistance, next candle came all the way down, closed back in the range, this candle making a retest and then continuation. That's what can happen here, but it might take some time. And entering on the daily, it's a little bit too risky maybe, but we need to use lower time frames for entry, because if you enter based on the daily here, a huge stop loss is going to be needed. Let's see if our entries here, you need to put our stops above the wicks. Why above the wicks? This is just based on the daily. If you would take this on a daily, above the wicks, because this is all a zone, all these wicks. See, all these wicks, price came up, didn't manage to close above, came still closed above. Next candle the same. Just created a zone. On the lower time frames, we can have some sort of consolidation, but still price managed to come and close below. So if price comes here, we might get a chance that it might come a little higher, so we're gonna need a bigger stop loss. In this case, we go on the lower time frame. Let's go on the low time frame 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, this seems that that's the next resistance, or that daily resistance. And if price comes here for that retest, stop loss is going to be only 20 pips, because we don't use more than 20 pips stop loss. So stop loss means above the previous. This seems like the 4 hour breakout, and also which was the 4 hour, the daily breakout. And when price comes all the way up here for a retest, going above this candle is a big sign that it might cause a fake out. And that way, what we need is staying below this level. If price comes here, you can enter right away, or you can wait for rejections just to make sure that this is going to continue down, just to make sure that this resistance is going to hold. So you wait for 1 or 2 rejections, you wait for a bearish candle to close, then you can enter. We have some examples how we did that on the past. You can go through past webinars, but for now it's too far, so I'm gonna have to wait again. I'm using the wait word too much, I think. Why not trade on the way up to that level? Because you don't have a clean zone to continue up, and you don't know if that's going to be, if price is going to come all the way up here. I mean, you can take the risk, but I think it's not worth it. See, on the 4 hour, maybe if this 4 hour would close bullish above, then make a retest, we could enter to push this to the upside, but daily is still bearish, so chances of dropping from here too are there. Price can drop also from here, so I wouldn't risk buying it until the next zone and then entering sells. I'd rather just wait for sells here. Yes, Alex, patience pays. A lot of waiting, but this is discipline, guys. Waiting and waiting for the perfect setup. If you took trades in this 2 hours that we're being here, then something is not good. Of course, if you trade the same way as I do, because if you trade other, if you have other way of trading, then you might that you took some trades. But the way I trade here, and everyone that follows me the same way, there was no trade. If you took it, any trades, that means you rushed, you You didn't have enough patience. Look, I used to trade rejections too, but consistency is not there. I was trading break and retest, also rejections, and my win rate was not that good just because the rejection way of trading caused me the losses. So I just said that I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to stick to break and retest since it has a very good win rate. What's your consistency? Well, you can see my consistency if you watch all my live streams. You can see how good win rate this has. UJ about to break. Wow, UJ dropped. Yeah, I'm not gonna look to trade UJ, too slow. Okay, looks like Aussie dollars not closing below. 2 minutes left. What do we have? EJ. EJ looks like it's gonna close, but very weak. Nowhere is trading with ice. Welcome. I advise new people that come to the stream to go take a look at previous live streams just to get an idea what we do here, if it does fit to your trading style or not, because what works for me may not work for you. So you need to see if you are made for this way of trading, because not everyone has patience. Okay, EJ, it's not gonna be a good close. EU, wow, rejected all the way up, closing back in the range probably. 1 minute left. USD CAD got rejected, so we got fake promise. This is crazy. how big the drops were, and they all did big rejections. Okay, so we have Euro New Zealand closing above, but not my focus on there. EU no trade closed above. EJ, let's take a look. Only closed, we can't say closed above, so it's not a breakout. But what I would do maybe is I would try to take sells if it does come for retest here. If it does come for retest, if not, then there's no trade, but we'll see. Probably it's gonna fill this wick. That wouldn't be a good idea. If it does come right away on this candle, then I'll probably gonna enter some sells. If not, we'll have to see, because not much going on. GU closed all the way bullish. What about the 4 hour? 4 hour? Yeah, see, GU has this resistance on the 4 hour, you can see it. There's no close above it or something like that. See, the previous candle closed just like the previous candles too. Nothing special above or something like that. This candle is pushing, but it's not gonna do anything good for us. Aussie dollar closed not good. Not good. It's not a good confirmation. We can expect fake outs from these kind of closes. Nothing official. Nothing official. GCAD may be a good setup, maybe. Still, we need to see if it does a pullback here to give us a chance. GJ only closed above, so that's a rejection of 4 hour. Couldn't break to the downside. Let's see, Aussie dollar, I don't know. On the 4 hour, the level is a little bit higher, but you can see how many rejections we have in this zone. You can't really trust. UJ, if you want to take UJ, just look at this. It's only 2 pips below. Would that be a good confirmation for you? I don't think so. 2 pips is not enough. EA, okay. Let's take a look at this chart. I don't know, man. EA is very risky pair. It closed above most of these candles, because this seems like it was only a fake out, and now we have a strong close above. Looks like it's coming for retest to continue up. That's probably what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take a look at daily, see if we're hitting another zone or not. If not, we might be able to take a trade here. Yeah, daily is at resistance, but the 4 hour closed above, which means we can have some continuation. And let me see, the thing is we can take the trade, but what's the stop loss we're gonna use? Will 20 pip stop loss be enough? Seems like yes. Okay, but this is gonna be very risky trade, so I'm gonna use less risk, which means stop loss is only 20 pip. It's still 20 pips, but the risk is lowered. If I use 2%, then it's going to be a 1% trade. Even though it would be good if we would have a close above this too. but this can work too. We'll have to wait and see. Still, again, using this word too much. Wait and see, wait and see, wait and see. Basically, that's all we need. Think it's about Aussie dollar. This is also a risky trade, but I'm gonna take a sell here on Aussie dollar. Gonna go for wick fill. Yeah, gonna aim for like 10 pips. Let me see how many pips stop loss I can use. Yeah, 10 pips. We'll see. I'm gonna enter some shorts here. Some sells for some that don't know what shorts are. Okay, if UJ is much better, then you can take UJ. It's all good, it's your choice. You can choose what you want to take, what you don't want to take. Okay, this I'm taking this, but it's not a good break. So I'm gonna use low risk. If I use 2% risk, usual, I'm not gonna use 1%, even less, 0.5, because I don't see this. It's a very weak breakout, which means every time this happens, the chance of being a fake out are higher. So we'll have to wait and see now. Took a small sell, but risk is too low. We don't have any other chances really. Okay, looks like EA came too. What about EA? EA is too volatile, so I'm gonna skip EA. Aussie dollar is a little bit better, I think so. Yeah, stop loss is just above the previous 1 hour candle. If it does come above, then probably it's going to result in a fake out. So it should stay below this resistance. As long as it stays below, there's still chances of continuation to the downside. I use Pepperstone. Well, how many pairs do you trade? I trade these pairs on my right, if you can see them. With UJ, USD, CHF, USD CAD dropping, with the dollar index moving bearish, will Aussie dollar not be retesting and rejecting a support level? Wow. Why are you involving UJ, USD CAD, dollar index with Aussie dollar? I mean, this is a different pair, and all the other pairs that you mentioned are different. I'm gonna focus on Aussie dollar, what's gonna happen with it. As long as we stay below the support, we're gonna continue down. If not, if price pushes up, if it does close above that, then we might see a bullish move to the upside. But I think this is a pullback to continue down. I just don't see any signs why price should any signs that price should continue up, unless the opposite, unless I get some sort of signs or confirmation the price is going to continue up. Then there's nothing that tells me that. The sign that would tell me that price may continue up is if it does go above the previous candle, which now doesn't seem that is happening, but our job now is to wait. Use good risk, don't risk all your profits. Consistency is what matters in this game. Yeah, we're not asking for a 100 pip move here. We want a small portion and out. Yeah, what we can have here is a wick fill. A wick fill which is 15 pips and another 5 pips to fill the range. That's what can happen here. Stop loss is only 10 pips above the previous candle. Let's wait and see. We're having a rejection. This is a good sign already. No worries, you're welcome. Okay guys, I'm gonna have to go now. It's time to go. We waited for almost 3 hours. Now we have the trade. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. I'm still gonna hold this and gonna keep you updated on the free chat also for the YouTube guys and for my students on the group. So for now, thank you all for participating, and see you tomorrow. It was a good thing that we are back. Hopefully tomorrow on the same time Have a very nice day. See you.